distant leadership, distance leadership, remote leadership, virtual leadership. Distance leadership is nothing new. The Romans did it thousands of years ago. Because of today's virtual media, distance leadership just happens more, faster, and with a greater potential in terms of what we call virtual leadership. Why? The ability to lead and coordinate activities, projects, and employees across vast geographical distances is becoming increasingly important as globalization intensifies international competition. Virtual leadership is leading team members at other physical locations to accomplish results. Virtualization is as much a revolution as urbanization thousands of years ago. Before urbanization, people lived in small farms, which were isolated among maybe 2 other local farm families. The people on these farms knew each other. They had been living there all their lives as farmers and hunters. When a stranger came out of the forest, they were either killed or at least chased out of the private territory. With urbanization, the farmers moved into cities. Industry and trade began. People started to do business with each other and also with strangers. They even lived in houses with neighbors that they didn't know. They were establishing new kinds of relationships that they had never experienced before. They had to learn and practice this new way of living and relating to other people. With virtualization, the same thing actually happens. Because of the virtual media, we now have virtual relationships. We do shopping, networking, net dating, knowledge sharing, collaboration, and leadership in the virtual community. But, like our ancestors, we will have to learn this in order to succeed. Effective virtual leadership starts with a radical questioning of basic concepts and the underlying assumptions behind them. Assumptions to challenge. One needs to actually see the person in order to develop a personal relationship with him or her. Assumptions to experiment with. The importance of body language has been widely overestimated. I do not need to see people to relate to them. By listening differently, one can connect with somebody at a deep and very personal level. Assumptions to challenge. Effective virtual work is about good management as well as self-managed teams. Assumptions to experiment with. Develop strong relationships. Leading is about relating. Designing new ways of communicating where the formal and the informal can coexist all at the same time. Assumptions to challenge. To be able to trust somebody, I need to have met the person face to face first. Assumptions to experiment with. Trust does not require any previous face-to-face meetings. Assumptions to challenge. Virtual media are impersonal, which means that I must be present to convey the difficult messages. Assumptions to experiment with. Virtual media are an extension of your physical presence, and in general, you need to be much more present and personal in your use of virtual media. On the whole, with this understanding, we see virtual leadership as not only development of managers, but development of better virtual collaboration that enables virtual teams to create better results.